government has said that it is ready to initiate dialogue with the Netra Bikram Chand-led Biplop group if the banned outfit commits to shun violence and join mainstream politics. The government's commitment has come on the face of the Biplop group expressing similar intent just a few days ago. The government at the same time has also warned that it would foil all attempts of the banned group to buy time to garner power in the pretext of holding talks. Good morning, I'm Amit Mackerel and let's begin with the top stories this hour. Death toll from floods and landslides across the country since last week reaches 90. Genuine flood victims in Rohtahat's far fronts, villages compelled to live without relief materials. Finance Ministry snubs the Parliamentary Committee's directive to furnish details of expenses and revenue collection. Public Accounts Committee to probe last fiscal month expenses scandal. At least 26 people killed and dozens injured after a suspected arson attack at an animation studio in Kyoto, Japan. An International Cricket Council suspends Zimbabwe cricket team alleging political interference, cites the team failed to hold elections through democratic means. The death toll from the floods and landslides triggered by incessant rainfall across the country since last week has reached 90. Based on the latest data provided by the Home Ministry, 90 people have been killed while 29 others are still reported missing. 11 of the injured are receiving treatment at various hospitals. According to the Home Ministry, 3,366 victims have been relocated to safe locations for the time being. Around 17,430 families from 31 worst-hit districts were displaced by the floods and landslides caused by the rainfall. A week has passed since the incessant rainfall hit many parts of the country, causing landslides and floods that has claimed the lives of 90 people so far. However, despite the lapse of 7 days, majority of the victims in rural parts of one of the worst-hit districts, Rohtahat, have not received emergency relief materials yet. Victims in accessible, affected regions have received relief materials. However, those living in far-flung rural areas have yet to receive any support. Around 400 families in Padarhawa of Durga Phagwati rural municipality of Rohtahat district are compelled to go without food since the mayhem struck the village. These genuine flood victims who lost their homes and family members in some cases have been spending days under tents, while those with access to power have been availing themselves of relief items. Meanwhile, landslides have obstructed the Fidim Ilam section of the Mechi highway since early morning yesterday. People traveling from Pastor and Taplijung districts to Ilam and Chaba were stranded. 26 houses in Pastor's Fagulanda rural municipality are at risk of landslides. Likewise, vehicular movement has been interrupted in Mahottari as all the roads connecting the district headquarters, Zalesur, have been obstructed by landslide debris. Likewise, the postal highway in Tanusa has been flooded as well, obstructing vehicular movements to Parhawa, Aurahi and Khajuri among dozen other villages. The website of Finance Controller General Office had been inaccessible to the public since Monday following the directive from the Finance Ministry. It was understood that the Finance Ministry had been trying to conceal the details of revenue and expenses made by the government towards the end of the fiscal year. However, it has now been revealed that the ministry has also denied the Parliamentary Committee an access to the same financial details. The Public Accounts Committee is gearing up for a probe into the recent activities of the Finance Ministry and the Finance Controller General Office. In the previous fiscal year, the Public Accounts Committee had repeatedly directed the Finance Ministry to avoid careless approving of payments in order to use up the budget allocated for development works. The committee had also summoned the Finance Minister and the Finance Secretary to take caution towards misuse of budget towards the end of fiscal year. However, the Finance Ministry did not abide by the committee's directive as it released payments of 60 billion rupees of development budget last month. The Public Accounts Committee had summoned Finance Secretary Rajan Khanal and Secretary of the Revenue Department Lal Sankar Kimire to present the details of payments made in revenue collected in the last month of the previous fiscal year. However, both these officials have ignored the committee's directive. The Public Accounts Committee has therefore started legworks to probe into the case. It has been 4 days since the website of the Finance Controller General Office was down. The office has been accused of shutting its website down, depriving the public from financial information under the influence of the Finance Ministry. Meanwhile, at the weekly government press conference held yesterday, government spokesperson Gokul Baskota tried to evade all the questions thrown at him on the issue. The spokesperson for the Finance Ministry also failed to furnish a convincing answer. In the previous fiscal year that ended just a few days ago, the government had brought down the total budget of 1.315 trillion rupees to 1.014 trillion rupees through a mid-year review. However, it was neither able to make use of the revised amount nor collected targeted revenue. The government and the Netra Bikram Chand-led Biplop group in recent times have hinted at their willingness to hold dialogues. The government is looking for the Chand group's commitment to join mainstream politics by shunning violence. On the other hand, the band outfit is bargaining for the release of its jailed cadres as a prerequisite for talks. The government spokesperson and Minister for Communications, Gokul Baskota, said that the government had initiated talks with the Biplop group seeking a political solution. Even as a number of leaders from the ruling party have claimed of the initiation for the talks from the government, the Biplop group has complained of lack of willingness from the government to hold talks. At the same time, the Biplop-led group is demanding the lifting of the ban and release of the cadres to build atmosphere for talks. It may be recalled that the government had banned all the activities of the Biplop group 4 months ago. Despite the imposition of the ban, the group has been waging terror activities. Welcome back after the break. One person was killed and 4 others were injured in a bomb explosion in Chadakpur, Thangari yesterday evening. According to a spokesperson of the District Police Office of Kailali, Dakshi Kumar Basnet, the deceased has been identified as Ram Bahadur Singh of Pazang District's Jai Prithvi Bahadur Municipality 14. Singh, who was severely injured in the explosion, succumbed to his injuries while receiving treatment. The tiffin box Singh was carrying went off while Singh was having dinner at a restaurant in Thangari. Others injured in the explosion are restaurant owner Kesapras Pandey, Lakshman Serela, Movin Khan and Jitendra Yadav. The injured are receiving treatment at Maya Metro Hospital in Thangari. The police have informed that injured Lakshman Serela and deceased Ram Bahadur Singh are cadres of Netra Bikram Chand-led Nepal Communist Party. According to the police, they were preparing to leave for Kathmandu. The police have retrieved a Chinese gun and a motorcycle from the explosion site. For Nepalese women, especially those from Hindu background, the Nepalese calendar month of Shravan means an amalgam of yellow and green attire and bangles, henna and a painting of reddish-brown dye and religious fasting. Usually observed from mid-July, the Shravan month is considered as one of the holiest months in the year as per the Hindu rituals.
And yellow colors, religious fasts and henna among other rituals undertaken specially by women. Most women and young girls are seen flocking temples to worship Lord Shiva in hopes of good health and a husband as good as the Lord himself. The streets are also mostly full of women queuing up to get their hands painted with henna designs, wearing green attires as the color is considered a representation of the nature. Married and unmarried women and girls have taken up the trend of putting henna on the hands. However, not many are aware of the significance of putting a henna.
I don't know why people wear mehndi and green accessories during Shravan, but it's just a trend and I'm also following it. The reason why I'm wearing mehndi is just to check how deep it gets in color, that it defines how much my partner loves me.
One can find that many henna artists originated from India, as there is a general belief that the henna designs are inspired from Rajasthani culture. However, experts back home have stated that the trend of coloring palms during the month of Shravan is much older than the general belief. According to experts, the color green is also symbolic of power of fertility.
यो संस्कृति नेपालमा चाहिँ थियो नभएको होइन तर नेपालमा लोप भएपछि अहिले धेरै पनि भएको छैन होला 20-25 वर्ष जति भयो कि अहिले चाहिँ भारतबाट आयातित भयो भारतमा पनि कुन ठाउँबाट आयातित भयो राजस्थानबाट आयातित भयो साउन महिनामा हरियो चुरो लगाउने मेहदी लगाउने हरियो लुगाहरू चाहिँ सबै लगाउने टिका पनि हरियो लगाउने भन्ने आयो। जे हो त्यसले चाहिँ नि महिलाहरूमा भएको प्रजनन शक्तिलाई बढाउनको लागि, सक्षम बनाउनको लागि, त्यो नक्कल झक्कलको कुरो होइन, प्रजनन शक्तिलाई चाहिँ नि बढाउनको लागि यो हरियो वस्त्र लगाउने, चुरा लगाउने, तिउरी लगाउने यसको मुख्य वैज्ञानिक कारण यो हो।
Despite having our own cultural practices, generations today have been adapting foreign cultures like wearing Rajasthani henna in the month of Shravan. While it is positive to embrace and adapt foreign cultures, it is also crucial to protect our own authentic culture. With Hemanta Katwal and Pashupati Budathoki in camera, this is Bipashna Tamang for Kantipur Television, Kathmandu.
It's time now for the international update. At least 26 people are dead and dozens injured after a suspected arson attack at an animation studio in Kyoto, Japan. Local media quoted police as saying a man broke into the Kyoto Animation Company studio yesterday morning. Police say the 41-year-old suspect sprayed petrol before igniting it. Some people still remain unaccounted for. The suspect has been detained and was taken to hospital with injuries. Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said the incident was too appalling for words and offered condolences to those affected. The fire broke out at a 3-story building. Rescue operations are still ongoing. Police also found knives at the scene. Some 36 people are in hospital, some in a critical condition. About 70 people were in the building when the fire started. In our Public Voice segment, we asked the locals in Punarbas municipality at the border region of Kantipur what problems have they been facing having to live at the border area. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
नाकामा आउजाउ गर्नुको लागि बाटोको सुविधा हुनु पर्यो कि नाकाबन्दी नै गर्दिनु पर्यो, बन्द गर्दिनु पर्यो, जाँदाखेरि टिकट काट्दिनु पर्यो, आउँदा पनि टिकट लिनु पर्यो, होइन भने सहज रूपमा राख्नु पर्यो।
सीमा छुट्याए भए पिल्लर हालिए भए यो नेपाल हो, यो भारत हो पनि छुट्याए भए त्यही चाहने छौँ अरु। अब उद्धो हो कि नेपाल उभो हो कि त्यो कहाँ हो भन्ने थाहै छैन नि।
त्यो बाटो नै ब्लक गरेपछि अब त्यो कुरै नै त्यहाँ कुरै उड्दैन भन्ने किसिमको एउटा इन्डियन त्यस्तो किसिमको पोलिसी भए हुनाले त्यो किसिमले चाहिँ अब यतातिर मान्छेले आवाजात गर्न बन्द गरिदिया।
जो माथि सरकारमा पुग्यो ऊ पारी गएर टोपी छोड्छ। हामी यहाँका बिना हतियारका सेना भएर आफ्नो भूभाग ओगटेर हामी अहिलेसम्म सुकुम्बासी छौँ। हामी 40 सालबाट बसोबास गरी आएका मान्छे अहिलेसम्म नेपाल सरकार कति सरकार बदलिया कति के भए सरकार भनेका कस्ता रहेछन् त पदलोभी र धनलोभी मात्रै।
जो सजिलो बाटो थियो, छोटकरी बाटो थियो, गाडीहरू आवाजात गर्न सजिलो थियो, त्यो बाटो अहिले बन्द छ। अब त्यहाँबाट आउन जान दिँदैन मान्छेले, त्यो भएर तलिमाथिबाट हामीलाई धेरै कठिन भइरहेछ।
It's now time for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, what's your take on the government concealing expenses made in the last month of the fiscal year? And options are A, avoiding criticism, B, meddling with data, and C, technical error. The voting is on. Type NAWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now the sports update.
Sports News.
The International Cricket Council (ICC) has suspended Zimbabwe for failing to ensure there is no government interference in its running of the sport. ICC funding has been withdrawn and the country will be barred from participating at ICC events. Zimbabwe are due to take part in a T20 World Cup qualifier in October. The ICC issued the punishment after the entire Zimbabwe Cricket Board was suspended by the Government Sports and Recreation Commission last month and replaced with an interim committee. The ICC says it will review its decision at a board meeting in October. And that's all for this hour. Keep watching Kantipur Television SD for more news and entertainment. Have a good day.